Did you know that in Japan there are over 80,000 people who have surpassed the age of 100? This fact is not only fascinating but also raises a crucial question. Is humanity prepared to live to 100? In this video, we will explore the numbers behind longevity, advancements in anti-aging medicine, per capita health expenditures by age, and the social, economic, and ethical challenges of a much more long-lived population. Imagine a world where living to 100 isn't just a rare milestone, but an expected norm. In countries like Japan and Hong Kong, average life expectancies are already approaching 85 years. This isn't just a statistical anomaly, it's a testament to improving living conditions, healthcare advancements, and a deeper understanding of human biology. For instance, Okinawa, Japan, is a renowned blue zone, a region where people live significantly longer and healthier lives. Researchers attribute this not only to diet and exercise but also to strong social connections and a sense of purpose, known as ikigai. Advancements in medicine and technology are pushing the boundaries of human longevity. Consider the remarkable progress in areas like regenerative medicine, CRISPR gene editing, and personalized medicine. Scientists are exploring ways to repair damaged tissues, correct genetic predispositions to disease, and tailor treatments to an individual's unique biological makeup. These innovations hold the promise of not just extending lifespan, but also health span, the period of life spent in good health, free from chronic disease. But as we edge closer to this new era, we must ask, is humanity truly prepared for a century-long life? Consider this. By the year 2050, global life expectancy is projected to increase by nearly 5 years, reaching an average of 78.1 years. This isn't just about adding years to life but ensuring those years are lived in good health. This projection by the United Nations highlights a global trend, but it also masks significant regional disparities. While developed nations are experiencing sustained increases, many developing countries still face challenges with infant mortality and infectious diseases which limit their average lifespans. Bridging this gap will be crucial for global equity and longevity. However, with longer lives come complex challenges. Economies must adapt to aging populations, healthcare systems face increased demand, and societies grapple with the implications of extended lifespans. The very fabric of society, from family structures to urban planning, will need to evolve. Let's take healthcare, for instance. In the United States, per capita health expenditures reached $14,570 in 2023, significantly higher than in other high-income nations. Older adults account for a substantial portion of these costs, often due to chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. The rise of multimorbidity, the presence of multiple chronic conditions in one individual, further complicates treatment and increases costs. This necessitates a shift from reactive, illness-focused care to proactive, preventative health strategies with a greater emphasis on lifestyle interventions and early detection. Moreover, aging populations strain pension systems. In Europe, state pensions already consume around 12% of GDP, and with the over 65 population projected to rise from 20% to 30% by 2050, the financial burden is set to increase. This demographic shift is often referred to as a demographic time bomb for many developed nations. The declining birth rates combined with increased longevity mean fewer young workers are contributing to the system to support a growing number of retirees. This calls for innovative solutions, perhaps a re-evaluation of how retirement is defined and funded. These economic pressures have led to proposals for raising retirement ages. However, such suggestions often face backlash. Many older workers argue that extending their working years is unjust, especially for those in physically demanding jobs or with health issues. There's a legitimate concern about fairness and equity, as not all jobs are equally amenable to being performed into advanced age. A construction worker or a nurse faces different physical demands than an office worker. Furthermore, a later retirement age could disproportionately affect those in lower-paying jobs who may not have the same health or financial resources to continue working. Beyond economics, there's the question of purpose. As people live longer, how do they find meaning in extended years? Retirement, once seen as a time for rest, may now span decades, prompting individuals to seek new roles and identities in later life. This could lead to a cultural shift where retirement as a complete cessation of work becomes less common, replaced by periods of unretirement, part-time work, volunteering, or pursuing lifelong passions. This concept of portfolio careers in later life could offer both personal fulfillment and continued societal contribution. Furthermore, longer lifespans can exacerbate social inequalities. Access to healthcare, quality of life, and opportunities in old age often vary based on socioeconomic status, potentially widening existing disparities. Those with greater financial resources may be able to afford better preventative care, healthier lifestyles, and access to cutting-edge anti-aging treatments, further widening the gap between the privileged and the less fortunate. This raises ethical questions about equitable access to longevity-enhancing technologies and resources. In essence, while the possibility of living to 100 is becoming more tangible, it brings forth a myriad of challenges that societies must address. Firstly, the financial strain on healthcare systems is undeniable. In the U.S., health expenditures per person were over $14,570 in 2023, significantly higher than in other high-income nations. This unsustainable trajectory demands a re-evaluation of healthcare funding models, focusing on efficiency, preventative care, and value-based care. The rise of telehealth and remote monitoring could also play a significant role in managing costs and improving access, particularly for older adults with mobility limitations. Secondly, pension systems are under pressure. For instance, Germany spent €127 billion on pensions in 2024, constituting a quarter of its federal budget. This highlights the immense scale of the financial challenge. Solutions may involve a combination of increased contributions, adjustments to benefit levels, and exploring alternative models like universal basic income or encouraging private savings for retirement. Moreover, the aging population poses challenges beyond economics. In California, natural disasters have highlighted the vulnerability of older adults, emphasizing the need for better emergency preparedness tailored to their needs. Older adults often have specific medical needs, mobility issues, and may be more isolated, making them particularly susceptible during crises. Community-level initiatives, robust communication systems, and dedicated support networks are vital to ensure their safety and well-being. On the flip side, advancements in anti-aging research offer hope. Studies suggest that vitamin D supplementation may slow biological aging by preserving telomere length, potentially extending healthy years. Telomeres are protective caps on the ends of chromosomes, and their shortening is associated with aging and disease. This research, while promising, is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Scientists are also exploring senolytics, which are drugs that clear out zombie cells that contribute to aging, and metabolic interventions that mimic the benefits of calorie restriction. The goal is to not just extend life, but to compress morbidity, meaning to live a long, healthy life and only experience a short period of illness at the very end. However, these scientific strides must be matched with societal adaptations. Policies need to evolve, communities must become more inclusive, and individuals should be empowered to lead fulfilling lives at every age. This includes fostering age-friendly cities with accessible infrastructure, promoting lifelong learning opportunities, and combating ageism in all its forms. The concept of active aging, where older adults remain engaged and contribute to society, needs to be promoted and supported. Ultimately, as we stand on the cusp of this longevity revolution, the question remains, if life is getting longer, how does that change the way we live it? It's not just about adding years to life, but adding life to those years. This calls for a fundamental reimagining of life stages, education, work, and leisure. Perhaps we will see more frequent career changes, extended educational pursuits throughout life, and a greater emphasis on personal growth and self-actualization in later years. But not all is optimism. Some experts argue that the obsession with extending life at all costs can have unintended consequences. For example, philosopher Daniel Callahan contends that the pursuit of extreme longevity can lead to a society where resources are concentrated on keeping the elderly alive, rather than investing in younger generations. This could result in a stagnant society where innovation and progress are hindered by an aging population. Callahan's finitude thesis suggests that there are natural limits to human life, and that an endless pursuit of longevity could be detrimental to societal well-being. Additionally, there are ethical concerns about resource distribution. If only an elite can afford the most advanced anti-aging treatments, we could face an even greater gap between rich and poor, where the rich live significantly longer than the poor. This longevity gap could create a new form of social stratification, potentially leading to resentment and instability. Ensuring equitable access to health-promoting technologies and lifestyle choices will be a paramount ethical challenge. Another controversial viewpoint comes from economist Peter Drucker, who argues that retirement at 65 is an obsolete concept. In a world where people live to 100, Drucker suggests that retirement should be replaced by a series of second careers and continuous learning opportunities. This would not only keep people active and engaged, but also alleviate pressure on pension systems. Drucker's idea of the knowledge worker who continually reinvents themselves throughout their working life seems particularly relevant in a longevity-rich future. But how would people feel about having to work until they are 80 or 90? Isn't retirement a well-earned right after decades of hard work? These are tough questions with no easy answers. The concept of work itself might need to be redefined, moving away from a linear career path to a more fluid, multi-stage approach that incorporates periods of learning, leisure, and different types of work. The psychological impact of extended working lives and the need for meaningful engagement beyond traditional employment also need careful consideration. As we move towards a future where living to 100 could be the norm, it is crucial that we consider not only the benefits, but also the challenges and potential unintended consequences. We must ask ourselves how we can ensure that these additional years are lived with dignity, purpose, and quality of life. This requires a comprehensive and interdisciplinary approach, involving policymakers, scientists, ethicists, economists, and community leaders. In conclusion, the possibility of living to 100 is both exciting and daunting. It offers the promise of more time with loved ones, more opportunities to pursue our dreams, and more years to enjoy the wonders of the world. Imagine the wisdom that could be accumulated, the historical perspectives that could be shared, and the creative endeavors that could flourish over a century-long life. But it also presents significant challenges that we must address with care and consideration. These challenges are not insurmountable, but they demand proactive planning, innovative thinking, and a willingness to adapt our societal structures. So, as we celebrate the advancements that bring us closer to a longer life, we must also reflect on how we can ensure that these additional years are lived to the fullest. Are we prepared to live to 100? The answer depends on how we tackle the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. It's a question not just for scientists and policymakers, but for each of us individually, to consider what a longer life might mean for our personal aspirations and contributions to society. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments below. What do you think about the possibility of living to 100? Do you think humanity is prepared? Let us know your thoughts.